All right, so preface before the preface, I guess. So this is going to be talking about my skit series, literally the first one for MFB on top of the Zero G one that I'm working on now, right before the finale. DK wanted to make this video to have a discussion before this actual finale, before I fully wrap things up. So yeah, if you've been wondering about anything that I've done with the skit series or like thoughts behind things, because it's literally 5-6 years of work and such that have gone into these series, watch this video and you hopefully won't have many questions afterwards because I'll be answering everything that he, diehard fan of the skits and such, asks me. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So it's gonna show like the scenery before this starts. You know, you can see all the snow because weather in New York is really weird. But yeah, so I guess I'll do a little preface to this. This video is going to feature a good bud of mine, obviously that being DK, D Kizzle, and we're
these sausage we could start.
What, you broke up?
Never buy sausage and cookies. Carry on.
But yeah, we're gonna be discussing my skit series and such. So, you know, all that good stuff. So that's what this video is gonna entail. Just letting everybody know. This little preface for it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Kimbo here, out in this nice snowy end of April weather because New York State weather is really weird. But yeah, so. Anyways, like I said before, here with DK, D Kizzle, you know. Boy.
Hi, yeah, soft entry cookies sucks. I said this already, but it's still good. They taste terrible.
Yeah, hopefully the signal's not like too bad out here, you know, because you know, woods and all that good stuff. But anyways, he thought of the idea for this video, and that being just a video talking about the skit series and such in general. So first things first, I'll do a little preface. I know a lot of people probably know this. I have 2 skit series, you know, and what the skit series are, for people that don't understand it, it's basically a continuation of Metal Fight Beyblade, except in my own world, because obviously Metal Fight Beyblade ended back in like 2013 in Japan, 2014 in the US. You know, but since then, been making my own series and such, you know, to give some limelight to some characters, to pay homage to you guys. I have a lot of your combos and such from past CKT, so that's why the custom knockout tournaments are so special, because the bays from those get featured in the skits usually. And, you know, they're all stock combos, so, you know, they're there. And they've taken place in the skits. You can go back and check out the series and such, and you can see all of that. I've recorded the series in countless cities, like you talked about, like California. I recorded in New York City. I recorded in Albany. I recorded like so many different areas and such. And like I said, it's a storyline. So basically, it's like how the show is. You know, you have the plot where you introduce characters. You have the rising actions where you have the characters all coming together, getting stronger. And then you have an evil come in and then all that good stuff. And then, you know, good versus evil, that fight, because that's just how the plot of Beyblade is, you know. So having my own series for that. My first series that I made was Zero G, well, not the Zero G one, the regular Metal Fight Beyblade skits. And I started that back in 2014. And that was in college at the time. And then I finished that series at the end of 2017. The second one I made, the one I'm currently working on right now, the Zero G skit series, started that March of 2018 and ending it around now. You know, this is right before the finale. He wanted to do this video to just talk about some things, you know, some maybe behind the scenes stuff with the skits and such. You know, and just ask a few questions, because he's one of the obvious diehard fans and such, you know, and my real good bud, and he knows the stories, and I've even incorporated him into the stories big time, you know, with the Super Hell Pegasus. And he also makes skits too, so go and support him, you know, and support other people that make skits too, because it's really cool thinking of your own story for things. So yeah, and I'm just honored that I've even inspired like a few people out there to make skits and such, you know. I'm totally honored about that. But yeah, it's always something I wanted to do, like to continue like MFB, because I just felt like the way that it ended was kind of because it ended on like a cliffhanger. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a resolution like to this and some other actions happening in my own world, because that's the justice that it deserves. So yeah, but that's basically everything for the backstory. This is an entire series that has been going on for about, like I said, 6 years. So, yeah. But, anyways, let's get into it. So, DK is going to ask me a few questions. I have no clue what the questions are, you know. But, yeah. So, I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Bro,
I'm also sipping a soda.
the first thing though, before I ask you a question, it's like the second episode, right? The Dragon Emperor returns.
Mm-hmm.
Your old intro, man. Oh my god. That is this memory in itself.
Yeah, my old intro. I know a lot of people remember the "been this stupid, I've been this stupid," like that intro. The fun fact is, like, my sister is actually a DJ, and she kind of like remixed a little thing, like a kind of like a track that she made, and I just took like a little snippet of it and used it, you know. So, you know, gave a little love to my fam, even if things aren't like the best, you know. But that's a whole nother different story. But yeah, it's not that I wouldn't want to have another intro. It's just that, like, I don't know what I'd do for it. Like, literally, if somebody made me an intro and it was like a bomb intro and looked really, really cool, I'd definitely make a video on it and I'd use it every single time, you know. But yeah, that'll be something that's really, really cool. So, yeah. I guess it's just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, I guess the first question is, what prompted you to make this skit series?
What prompted me to do it?
Yeah.
Well, it was, like I said, it was like the end, like getting towards the end of Metal Fight Beyblade, because obviously around that time was when like Zero G was getting done in Japan, and it was actually when like we were getting Shogun Steel over here in the U.S. And that was the time I was like, I knew it was over just because of like how the plot was and everything, you know, and especially the way that it ended. I was like, oh man, dang, you know, so really wanted to make like kind of my own series and such, but also at the same time, you know, another certain YouTuber, Unicorn Extreme GT, you know, with all this swag and such, he was doing skits at the same time, you know, and I was thinking about skits, and I mean, it's enough said. Like, if you don't know who Unicorn Extreme GT is, man, he's a freaking legend. He's an awesome dude. Literally got like the Unicorn tattoo right here. Not only because like I respect Stryker, but because like Unicorn is one of my role models. You know, I got tats for my role models and such. I mean, the Virgo right there, that's for JoJo. You know, like, yeah, and the Unicorn's for Unicorno. I got my own role models and such too. You know, but obviously back when he was making all his skits and such, it was just so cool because he would just do them on like random things, and I'm like, you know what, that's just so freaking awesome, and got some inspiration from that too. And then just started going with the skits, and then obviously thinking of the idea for Jade Bull, because obviously having Tajin, you know, absolutely hate Bull. He hated Bull because he pulled it. He wanted to pull the wolf, but he pulled the bull, and that's where it all started. He just got so triggered at that, and then he just like gonna make the worst combo ever with Bull, and then we just put all these parts together. I was like, yo, Jade Bull, let's use an E230 without the disc on it, and then just MS or something that gets sent out really easily. And he's like, let's do it. And then we just started making videos, just like trolling with it. You know, it would just get wrecked in battles and such. But that's also where like the gear started turning, because, you know, made a little series out of that, obviously showing off like the regular Bull, and then had it evolve into Jade Bull 230 RB with the skits. Like that little skit series I was doing before. Like I said, it was a little preface like series before the actual big series started. Started the big one in 2015, like at the end of the summer, when we actually like moved up to this complex. And ever since like that small series, I was like, you know what? I need to make a big series on this. I could do this because there's so many bays that aren't like anime bays that don't get love. Like, you know, in like any random booster ever, people usually focus on like the prize bays, right? They don't really focus that much on like the other bays because they're not obviously like canon, they're not in the show or anything, and they're just for parts. And I'm like, you know what? I need to just show off these bays as well, show off the side bays. And then that's when I started getting like Beyblade Watch and such, and getting the parts and such, so I can have custom knockout tournaments, so I can include you guys, because I'm like, I want to have a big series, and I'm going to start this big series. I'm going to make the first parts of it tie in, but obviously that didn't happen for some time with the series, because I had to do all these events before that, and then finally started to weave in the first skit series, like the first parts of like the small series with Bull and Wolf into that entire series. And that's where it just started snowballing and such. Then it became like the big series, and just recording everywhere, recording at college, recording whenever I went on trips, recording when any big events happen and such. And it's also like my diary, because, you know, putting in like, you know, these events from my life that are there, you know, and they're like memories for me too. Even when I go back and look at the skits myself, I'm like, holy crap, dude, because they're all like memories to me now and such too, after all these years. But Yeah, so those are like the main things that like started snowballing it, and then it just led to everything that happened. And it was also one of those things when we made that bay. I'm like, I'm gonna make this bay like this bull because it's the underdog bay. Nobody would expect this bay to become the strongest, like to become that strong. And I'm like, I gotta have it where like it just gets stronger throughout time. And then I just thought of ways that like combos for it that can make it actually really really strong. And then the battles tell enough, the battles with the base tell enough. Like it wins, it shows how strong it is. But yeah, that's how everything started. Hope that answered. Okay.
It's funny because you actually answered the reason why you actually made you came back to the actual series. So you already answered that question.
What was that? Sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
Break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you to actually keep going with it, but you already answered that.
Oh yeah, like how I just kept going with it. Yeah, and then it just all like
Why would you do that?
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
But with Death, what prompted you with Earth Wolf's evolution?
Okay, so what he asked was for anybody if you didn't hear it, he asked me like what prompted like Death Wolf. Anybody who knows like the first Death Wolf, it evolved from Earth Wolf. And anybody who doesn't know, like, longtime fans know this when I did like big time MFB, when Tasia and I were roommates. So Earth Wolf was a combo that he thought of like a limited format combo, and it was just so strong because obviously it was around the time I made Screw Uranus, and literally Screw Uranus and Death Wolf were like not Death Wolf, Earth Wolf were like on par with one another, like power wise, because they're both really strong, like limited format combos. So I had Screw Uranus, S130, R squared F, and then Tasia made Death Wolf and had D125 and CS. And it was a really good balance type combo because, if Screw Uranus couldn't KO it, Death Wolf was winning. It was going to win it with the stamina because just attack versus, balance, with big time stamina with it. And it was a boss combo. And then obviously getting into the series, it was after Tasia actually left the college. I'm paying big homage to him because that's my dude. That is my freaking dude. And I'm like, I got to think of a crazy Evo for it that, that he would totally be like, oh, yeah, that's an awesome Evo and it's really, really strong. And that being Death Wolf. So I made Death Wolf. I kept the same parts and everything. I just switched Earth to Death. So Death Wolf, D125, and CS ended up being a really strong combo. It shows enough. Skit 100, the 100 skit, like the big wedding one that's 2 hours long that people are like, Kimbo, you're insane. You put out this actual long skit. I remember a lot of people were like, yo, he actually made a movie. That's how driven he is with this series. And that was the climax of the series. That was like the top point, was when all the bays came together for the first time. And they all evolved. First of all, I was like paying homage to him by like, just having it in the craziest of conditions because, I filmed it when there was a snowstorm, literally in the cold middle of winter when it was negative sub-zero temperatures. And I filmed that clip, of him battling and such, and then Death Wolf evolving, Earth Wolf evolving into Death Wolf, and then returning. And even like with the battles that it did, had it in the snowy conditions where it got stronger. And then also like the Leap Day skit. I made a skit on like the Leap Day in February. It was back in 2016. So yeah, we obviously had one this year, but 2016, that last Leap Day I used for the skit. But yeah. Oh. he kind of broke up, I think. Oh, cut out. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's what really prompted it, like, because I know he loved the name like Death Wolf, and also just that it's so boss. And that giant tournament for the wedding, Death Wolf was the one that won, and it showed that absolutely solidified its power because it managed to take down every other bay, and there was like 128 bays in that tournament, and it was the one that won it. So yeah, enough power shown with that, and also made it as one of the final bays for the skits, that went up against the ultimate God of Destruction and the ultimate cyborg Dark Dragon.
You don't know how broken it really was, man. You don't understand. Same thing with Flash Unicorn. I was devastated. I was like, oh.
Oh, when Unicorno came in, yeah. I had to pay homage to him. You know, you already know I had to pay homage to Unicorno Extreme because obviously, like with his skits and such, you know how he had Inferno Unicorno as his combo, but also it's a low key thing that I even tied in like his storyline with my skits because just the way I did it was that like Susan and Unicorno obviously being like originally his bays and such, but also made it where they're a part of this family, the original family for the bays, like, you know, Orion, Sagittarius, Susan, Bull, but also like Susan being in there and Unicorno, you know, being a part of it too, because Unicorno and Susan being together, you know, because Unicorno Extreme GT skits. I tied it in where like it was the preface of that kinda where you know they were unevolved. Like Susan and Unicorno weren't really evolved. Well, I mean Susan was always kind of evolved, but that's why I had it as like Bakushin Susanoo, like the original one, instead of like Phantom Susan, because they had to evolve. But then I had it where like when the Bays went off to college, Unicorno and Susan weren't there for the first parts because they went off by themselves, and that was, you know, that was the area. It was unspoken like kind of storytelling with that. Because that's where like, you know, all of his skits and such would go into play, where like, you know, he had his extreme like wedding and stuff, and you know, all the things where like he had Unicorno evolve and get stronger, and also Susan, same thing, you know, and all those events. And then after all those events that he did, it was like they returned back to the college when they got stronger, you know, and all the Bays like came back, and they came back and, you know, all came together for the wedding and all that good stuff. But yeah. And then obviously, the ending with it, because Unicorno, its Facebook kind of broke, and it actually bursted in the battle, which, like, you know, I was devastated when I actually did the battle. Some things aren't planned with the skits, you know, it's just like they just kind of happen. And I was like, holy crap, dude, it actually exploded, but I had to stay in character. I couldn't just yell, holy. I just stayed in character and just lost it, dude.
That's the definition. Just the person that just never would give up. Unicorno just was made.
Yeah, man, and he's a freaking GOAT, that's for sure. Like, you know, just so many awesome bladers in the community and such, and you know, my boy Unicorno, I hope he does come back with some more videos soon for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I saw one of his last videos was like, I don't remember, I think it was like a New Year's resolution.
The New Year's resolution, yeah.
To upload less.
Oh my gosh, when he said that, like, New Year's resolution to upload less, I was like, oh man, I'm dead. But I definitely hope he does come back with some more vids, because, like I said, that's my dude. He's my dude. And I mean, people are going to probably see this video and go and spam him and be like, yo, Kimbo mentioned you. I'm just like, I'm just being real. Like, he's freaking amazing, and he's a GOAT. He's definitely one of the GOATs, and he should definitely make more vids and such, so... Yeah, man, but fully understand everything, and you know.
Not a big chunk of your skits, basically. The grand patriotic bacon wedding. How long did it take you to make that?
What skit?
The episode 100.
Oh, episode 100. Okay, let me see here. All right, so skit 100. You know, I'm obviously breaking this up because I'm gonna edit it all and such. You know, it's gonna be a little bit of a longer video, just saying this one is, and I'll probably premiere it. But yeah, and like I said, anybody who's just tuning in, talking about skits and some things behind the skits, because I have my whole like Beyblade skit series. You know, like the first one and the second one, and he's asking me questions about them. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. Anybody who doesn't know. But Skit 100, anybody who doesn't know what Skit 100 was, this is the one that I built like the whole climax for. The story was like the Bay started off like with the good old days. They were all like kind of weaker, just having fun battles. And then Nemesis showed up, but he was in a weakened state. You know, this is how it all started from the very get-go. Came in and challenged them, and then he vanished, and then went off and challenged some other Bays, like kind of Aurora Bays, you know, that had different colors and such, challenged them, beat them, and then the Bays also were going back to college. They're like, well, we're going off to college, you know, because that's also like how I went off to college, you know, and started my series and such. They all went out to college. That's when Unicorno and Susan split off. The Bays trained at the college for a bit, met some other Bays, went to the waterfall at the college, decided they need to split up and just find other people because there's this evil out there and they need to get stronger and just gain more power. And the next time they meet up, they're going to have a lot of power. So they all went out, had different arcs for each of them where they got stronger. met other bays, evolved themselves, all came together, and then led up to skit 100, that being the wedding skit. All the bays are together, all of them have a giant tournament, and then the wedding for Susan, well, not Susan, for for Bull and Wolf at the very end. You know, Unicorn and Susan did show up, though. But yeah, so the entire skit for this, it was obviously called the Grand Patriotic Bacon Weekend Wedding. I'm pretty sure I named it that. It was a really long name, and that's because I wanted to put in everything with it. So obviously patriotic, Grand Patriotic being because it was the 4th of July weekend when I filmed it. Bacon Wedding, obviously that's enough said. Susan and Bull getting, well, wow, why do I keep saying Susan? Jeepers. Wolf and Bull getting married. And then, like, you know, giant tournament happening with 128 bays. So overall, like, you know, it was 128 bays. They had like some like 4-way battles, some 3-way battles and such, and then like 1v1s and such going forward. The entire skit took me the entire weekend of the 4th of July weekend. So every single day I was out there filming a big time amount. It was mainly the tournament, like, you know, the tournament just, it was 128 bays, so, you know, we had to go from like 128 bays down to like 64-ish bays, down to like 32, down to 16, down to 8, down to 4, down to 2, and then the last 2 battling, and then obviously, like I mentioned before, Death Wolf being the one that won it. And then having the wedding afterwards, and then the little skit with the wedding. So yeah, it took me the entire 4th of July weekend to film that. And even like when I went out with like a friend and also family to see some fireworks, well, you know, set off some fireworks and such, and went to a cookout, I incorporated that a little bit with it, and then like Aquila going mad and just yelling "Marca" all the freaking time. So yeah. But yeah, it took me a weekend.
That's crazy. Where is my? I wouldn't actually look at my Christmas skit because I had like 120 plus days in my tournament.
Yeah. He also makes skits, by the way, like D Kizzle, aka True Anime Fan. I'm sure you guys see his channel. Like, you know, see him commenting in this video right now. Go and check out his channel. Show him some love, because he's super underrated. There's so many people that are underrated and such, you know. And especially during this time period, trying to support others and help others too. But yeah, but please also don't ask for shout outs and stuff, you know, because it's like if you're putting in big time work and such, you know, it's obviously like help, you know. But yeah. But
yeah, looking at mine compared to yours, which, gee, mine was only 35 minutes, and I think it took me like 5 hours to make it. It usually takes me 3 hours to make it, with like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous how yours was like 4 times long time, but yeah. So how much work you put into it.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, yeah, it goes, a lot goes into the skits, like he was saying, you know. Basically, whenever you record a video, I mean, usually it's like you got to factor in, like, multiply the time of, like, what you're seeing by, like, usually 2. That's at least how it is for me. So if you see a video that's like an unboxing or something and it's like 10 minutes long, odds are it took me like 20 minutes to film that, or such. But if it comes to a skit, usually multiply it by like 3 or such. So if you see a skit that's like maybe like an hour long or such, honestly, you multiply that by 4 with some 4.5, because it'll take me like 4 or 5 hours to just film that, because I got to get all the scenes and such that I want, you know, and get the build up and have the battles that I want to happen and all that good stuff. But yeah, but that skit, I literally, it was like I woke up, took a shower, went outside, started filming every single day until it got dark, and then I just stopped filming. And once I got it all done, you know, because it wasn't dark anymore, then edited it all together, and it took a minute, because I mean, 2-hour-long video.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it says fight everyone within my skit at that moment, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I put it into 3 different parts.
He's talking about his Hell Pegasus. It's like the main character in his skits and such. He's talking about the season 2, but.
Yeah, you know, and he has a super formula. He's kind of that's crazy.
So I moved inside because my phone kind of died, but it's all good. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Let's get back into, like, I guess the questions and such for it. So, you know, all that good stuff.
I think I was mentioning my series before your phone was like,
Yeah, you were talking about Yo Super Hell Pegasus in your Christmas skit.
yeah. What episodes before that? Live, that was like 15 episodes before that. But I had Pegasus fight like 120 something days. And all in all, it took me 9 hours total. But 3 different days, though.
Mm-hmm. I definitely believe it.
My memory was so bad. So I could only make like 20, I could only make like 20 mini episodes.
Mm-hmm.
To do that.
Yeah.
So my Christmas one, that was 35 minutes. You don't know the lengths I had to do to make that exist.
Yeah. But yeah, making the skits, I know like a lot of people even seeing like the series and such and get inspired to do the skits. Some people like do them and they realize how much goes into them and they're like, holy crap, dude. Like it's a lot of time to even like film a skit. And I mean, you're right with that. The thing is like it's worth it in the end because if you manage to convey the story that you really have in mind, with the image you really have in mind, and it turns out the way you wanted to, even with all that time, it's worth it. That's how it is for like anything, like any big like, say you're doing like an art project, you're working on a house or something like that, it's like the same sort of thing. You have the story, you want to develop the story the way that you want it to go, so you got to get like the right bays in the right situation. Make sure you're fully in character and just like zoned in. I mean, I guess it's something I can just do because I mean, like, acting and stuff in college and stuff. And, even before that, like, before getting into acting stuff, like I was making skits and it just helped me to get even better with them, because like implementing some like acting skills with it too. But yeah, getting the bays in like the right spot, like, when you're setting up the scenes with certain bays, to having the right dialogue for each bay, knowing the situation that's going on, conveying it the way that you really want it to be shown off, and then getting into the battles and such and keeping up with it too. And even so, like some people are like, oh, how do you like manage to get it where like a bay gets beat when you have the full dialogue with them, like, oh man, I lost, or something like that, and just getting that dialogue. It's just the way I make my skits is like I don't write anything down. All of this is just a fact. I don't know if it'll baffle people. I'm not trying to or anything, but just the entire series, believe it or not a single thing, not even a single scene or anything for both of these series I wrote down. I never wrote anything down. All I did was just grab the camera, I had some ideas in mind, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. And then it just balled into like a huge series, and then all the episodes is like, okay, I want to have these bays battle, or like, introduce this evil character, all in the name of like making this whole entire series that has a legit like beginning, middle, like the climax part, and then the end. But also all these events happening and all these other characters and such with the skits. And I feel like after like the finale of this skit series, people really realize like just how much went into it and how many bays went into it. That's all I'll say about it. But yeah, man, it's a lot of work that went into it, but it was totally worth it. Like I said, the first series, you could say went on for the better part of like 3 years, and then this series, even right now, has gone on for 2 years.
200 videos.
Yeah, 200 plus episodes, because like even like skit 200 was multiple parts, because like I didn't want them to be way longer than like, yeah, they were all like, it was like 6 parts in the finale, and they were all like about an hour, except for the last one, I think. And then even the epilogue was still like about another hour of stuff. So yeah, a lot goes into it, because it's like with it, people might be like, yo, it's a really long series, or it's a lot of time with that. It's because you don't want to just rush your characters or anything like that. You don't want to rush like the importance of all the characters. The one thing I wanted to do was show off the importance of all the characters, and all the characters to have their limelight and their spotlight and such, because it's like you have people that I paid homage to. I mean, heck, I'll even name them off. I'll name off some people you guys might not know it, like the Phantom Virgo. That was the mother of the bays in the old series, and also the one that's returned for this series and is in it right now. Pays homage to JoJo because of the Phantom Virgo. And that's also why I got Virgo on here. One, because I'm a Virgo myself. My birthday's August 29th. But also, because of that bae. because it's her combo that she really likes big time. And it pays homage to her, you know, and also like staying with JoJo was crazy. I think of a lot of things with whatever I do. You can even tell like the tats or such, you know, because it's just, I guess I have the brain of an artist, and that's just how I work, you know, because I want to have big time meaning with a lot of the things that I do. People might not see it like right away, and will see it like what it is, like take it for what it is. But there's a lot of thought that goes into a lot of different things, you know. But yeah, that being one. Unicorno Extreme GT, obviously with Flash Unicorno, mentioned that earlier. Inferno Unicorno, Phantom Susanoo. Yeah. And all those bays and such. Even with you guys, like a lot of the characters that were even in like the Skit 100. I had CKT3, Custom Knockout Tournament 3 before then, and had those bays tie into it too. So it's not only all these bays from the college and such returning and getting stronger, but it's also including your guys' combos with them as well as characters that they meet. And then they also battle and such, and then all go up against the Evos as well. You know, so it's including you guys as well. You know, but yeah, even right now, there's big homage being paid with the Zero G Skit series. People might not realize it. If you're a big time, long-term fan of Beyblade, like, you know, on the Baytubers and such, you'll get the reference with it. I won't even have to really say it, but you'll get the reference big time with it. But like, there's a certain bay in this series. I'm not gonna name it, but all I can say is it pays homage to Kivo, because, you know, Kivo, oh boy. Yeah, I pay homage to everybody. I try my best to. And even with the burst skits, that's how it's going to be. I'm going to still pay homage to a lot of you guys. You know, don't think I don't have, like, future knockout tournaments planned or anything. It's just when the knockout tournaments happen, you know where those bays are going. They're all set up for, like, people going and getting introduced and being a part of the skit series. Whatever skit series it is. In the past, it was for the first one. The Zero G knockout tournament that I had while visiting the college some time ago, introduced you guys with that. And even some of the bays went on to become synchromes that are still fighting in things right now. You know? So I pay homage with you guys all the time with the skits as well. And it's even going to be the same thing with the burst skits when they happen. You know? It's going to happen. But, you know, and also, like I said, just this is why I always say, like, just patience with things, because it's a storyline. You guys don't want me to, like, just get into the burst skits and then just start really rushing into things and then not giving characters credit or like build up or anything, because that would just make no sense. You know, it's about having all these different characters in there being a huge big story behind things, and also giving the limelight to people. You know, that's what it's all about with it. And yeah, so that's a lot of the ideas and thoughts that I got on and such. But that's why whenever people are just like, oh man, hurry up with the burst skits, I'm like, please don't rush. Like, it takes time to just make an actual, like, series. Because treat this like it's the show, except it can't really do, like, a ton of animation and such. Well, I mean, you can, but it'll take even longer and such. But, like, you know, imagine each bay having, like, kind of a humanoid blader form a little bit, except it's encompassed in that bay. And then that's where their dialogue and their actions and such are, you know, each character. And then you even, it's like you use your creativity, like how you imagine big time, crazy, energetic battles in the show. It's like the same thing in real life. You have to use your imagination a little bit with it. That's one thing with the skits too, is they really make you use your imagination. Because if you get in that zone and such, you can picture these things happening too, even on this crazier scale. You know, like you're actually watching the show. Like you're watching MFB, or you're watching Plastic Gen, or you're watching Burst, you know? And that's what I try to convey with the skits. That's what I've tried to convey with the skits the whole time. It hasn't been like, oh man, this random bay just gets put in for this reason, you know? Even like, I know some people saying, oh man, you said you weren't going to get any more bays, Kimbo, you know, for like the last part. And I ended up getting a few more Metal Fight Beyblades, which I know, they happened a few times. But it was also me just being like, there's some characters from the show that honestly didn't get the closure that they really deserved. You know what I mean? So, for example, I'll even give example of ones that I brought back because of this. Well, obviously, like some characters from like my first Skit series and such. But, for example, the Cyber Pegasus. You know, I had a Cyber Pegasus come in before. You know, at the beginning part of the Zero G Skit series. That obviously is pay homage to Sora. And then obviously the Storm Pegasus that I got, the Stardust one, managed to find one, pay homage to Jenga. But even now, that Cyber Pegasus coming back again, but being evolved. It has a metal face and it has an R squared F. So it's like on the same level as Storm Pegasus. That being like Sora making it to the level of Jinga, because Jinga was his like mentor and he was like kind of his apprentice and saw him as himself as his #1 apprentice. But they didn't really utilize Sora that much, you know. He ended up holding up his bay during the Nemesis crisis, you know. They didn't show him off really at all since season 1, and he definitely deserved to come back and have some more recognition. But I did so with my skits, you know. It's that type of thing. Even with Damien, you know, after the thing with Hades Inc., like with his Hades Kerbex and such, you know, the whole story with that, how some of his power was sent down to Hades. It caused a bunch of bays to, like, you know, be created, a bunch of Hell Kerbexes, like the Blue Inferno Hell Kerbexes, the Hot Fire Hell Kerbexes, tie those in, you know. And then even like his direct descendant being a Hades Kerbex, which is why I got the Hades Kerbex recently, so he can come back and battle, and then have like the battle with Hades coming back, the leader Hades himself, and then have that confrontation, because, you know, Pluto was the guy that was behind Hades Inc., right? And he had Fire Fuse Dark Helm, or Fusion Hades under TT. That's what the bay was called. Also known as Fire Fuse Dark Helm under Hasbro. But those two even fighting, you know, because it's like like the descendant of Damien wanting to get even for that, for him being used as a puppet and such. You know, it's those types of things. Like, you know, some of these things that happen to MFB that got no real resolution, I try to give that resolution in my own, like, just certain way and such, because, you know, it's me, like, you know, the way I think and such, you know. But yeah, but that being for, like, everybody, like, so many different characters, you know, like, even with Jack with his Befall, like, we got the Basalt Befall that I made, you know, that says beautiful all the time and has been in the battles recently, you know. It pays homage to him. And the same thing with the Kerbex, same thing with the Pegasus, same thing with the Storm Pegasus. There's a lot of different homages, or, yeah, homages, I guess is the way you say it, that happen with this. You know? But if you really sit and just think about all of them, and I guess maybe this video will help with that too, people will go back and watch the skits and be like, whoa, this is how he, like, paid reference to this, or this, you know? Or even, like, just talking about the Dark Power. Like, the Dark Power is back, you know? Like, again, you know? The Dark Power came back in my first skit series, but then, even then, it didn't die or anything. It's still lingering. Obviously, with the dragon and such now, and then you got the God of Destruction now, and then obviously the Oracle now. So, yeah, I guess that's all the basic ideas, and I got everything out, at least from my thoughts that I thought. And such. But you got any more questions?
There's quite a couple, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, you came up with the idea of the Dark Cyber Dragon.
What made me? What made me come up with the idea of the Cyborg Dark Dragon?
Yeah, and the Oracle.
And the Oracle. Okay, so the Dark Dragon is obviously sort of a given one, because we all know about how Ryuga had the Dark Power in the first season of Metal Fight Beyblade. How he lost to Jenga, you know, and then after that, literally he launched a Lightning El Drago into the volcano. He became one with the power of the cosmos, as he said, and he had Meteor El Drago. You know, he overcame that power. And then how Tsubasa got contaminated with the dark power. And he was just going on a rampage and such until he became one with it. You know, and then was able to overcome it. It was that the dark power never vanished. It was that, like, that volcano that Ryuga launched the dark power in, he freed himself from its control. That's what he said. But it didn't say that it was completely destroyed. You know, he's like the last fragment of it remaining in this entire world. But that was to be, like, him thinking that. You know, like, in my world, it's like, it was never a confirmed thing. The dark power is completely destroyed. You know, he said he became one with it. So a little piece of that lingering in that volcano. And I was like, you know what? We're going to play off that. So while everything else was happening with the series, the dark power still grew in that volcano a little bit. You know, like, storyline-wise. And then, over time, it got stronger and stronger again, because that's what it does. So even with the Nemesis Crisis and all these things happening, it was negative energy. So that fed the dark power and made it stronger. So then it came back in my first skit series as, like, the primitive version of the dragon, you know? Like the cyborg dragon. And then he kept on gaining power because the Bays kept battling. They kept bringing out all of their life force to their possible limits, but he also stole that power. And then even with the negative, like, and I explained it even more with like this second skit series. Like, you even have like the negative, like, how it feeds off of negative energy. The negative temperature thing, that was a theme with those skits. I just never said it fully. Like, the negative temperature adding to its power. It's power of all negativity, not just negative emotions and such, negative weather too, being a part of it. And it grew. And then obviously went to the point where it became the ultimate cyborg dark dragon at the end of the first series, and he got beat. He got beat, but he wasn't destroyed then. He created new forms. So that being the two dragons that you see in this series, who have now just evolved because they did the same thing and gained power big time. Off of not only the bays and the anger that they felt doing all these battles and such whenever they got into close battles with the evils, but also the negative degree weather, how it got really, really cold. So he's able to gain more power then and get back to his original form that we see now. I know it's a little bit of spoilers with the skits, but still, you can go watch and see all these things pan out with the skits and such too. But that's like the lead up for that. So like, it was like the dark power is always inspired by things. But here's the thing. I'll even say this now. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's a spoiler that people have to think about. If you really watch the show and like go with what I've said with this, there's a thing that's gonna happen with this, that I have in mind. I'm not gonna fully say it, but if you watch the show and understand like the dark power or how they've like utilized it, you'll understand how things will go with this. At the end of this, that's all I'll say. That's the closest thing I can give to a spoiler. But yeah, so that's everything for the Dark Cyborg Dragon. For the Oracle, it was that I wanted to make another character, like, for this, like another evil, and also give limelight to some of those bays that were not shown off in the show. Like, every single one was, except for Balro, like Wyvang. There we go, I just had to film it again. Ran out of space. But yeah, Captain Arrow, we obviously got Wyvang or Wyvern. It wasn't that long that we saw him, but we still saw it. Same thing with Zorago, Thief Zorago, Spike Born. Having it. But the only one that wasn't featured out of all the chrome wheels that we got was Balro. And I'm like, you know what? One, pay homage to Kivo. There's a little bit of the reference for people that don't know. And if you go back and you're a long-time term fan, you'll be like, holy crap, that's what that is. Yeah. Homage to Kivo for one. And two, Balro is just one of those wheels that looks like it's evil and menacing. And I'm like, this fits so well. So obviously having two Balros in it that were kind of seen as good, they're both oracles, so that's like the power of the oracle and such. And I'll explain the power of the oracle a little bit more for anybody that's forgotten. But two good bays that are oracles but that are Balros, but then one extremely evil Balro, that being the Oracle Incarnate. And I explained with the story how like Hades, where the spirits of all the bays are sent, it's two different parts. It's like a yin and a yang, the hot side and then the cold freezing side. And then all the spirits are in like the hot side, but the cold side has no spirits except for like those who watched over it, like the Blue Inferno Hell Kerbecs. You have like the Gemioses that maintain order in the center part where they clash, the heat and the cold. There's only one spirit that was in the cold side, and that being Balro, because he got exiled there a long time ago. I wanted to put a preface to this, like this series, with what started it all with this. And what it was is that, like, anybody who doesn't know, like, the story behind it is that Balro used to be called B. That's why Z, the Baygoma, the little iron Beyblade, that's a Baygoma, for anybody who doesn't know. That's the ancestor of Beyblade right there. That is, yeah, the first Beyblade, Baygoma. That's why he called him B. So they had a war a long time ago when B was not Balro, before he became Balro and evolved to this new form, when he was a Baygoma too. So imagine a Baygoma with a B on it, Had all these battles. All the other Baygomas got wiped out and beat because he gained a massive amount of power from a star fragment. And Z was the one that stopped him back then, which led to Z going in hibernation. B thought it was being destroyed, but was locked away in Hades. But over millennia, he gained power till he came back into the world now as the form that he has now, and he's been unleashed. And that was just a little bit of an idea, so it can pay homage to like Bay Gomas and such too. The big time first bays ever, you know, all the way up to this point now. And that's how the Oracle Incarnate became like a thing, you know. And also, we haven't seen it where there's like 3 crazy evils in one series. And I really wanted to do that. So like with Metal Fight Beyblade, we never saw like 2 really wild evils in one series. Like Ryuga was never like really, I mean, evil like during Metal Fury. It was obviously all about Nemesis. So, you know, and then with DNA in like the 4th season, you know, Shogun Steel. But we didn't have like 2 evils, and I wanted to do that with my first skit series. That's why we had the Ultimate Cyborg Dark Dragon and the God of Ultimate Destruction. Nemesis coming back, the Dark Power coming back, those 2 being the evils. And then this series focusing on 3. So even up in that by making 3 of them. So, you know, then you had the Ultimate Cyborg Dark Dragon, you know, which we got now. We got Nemesis being revived, God of Ultimate Destruction, and then the Unleashed Oracle Incarnate being the 3rd. And then this is where everything ties together. It's like the end game, the true end game for Metal Fight Beyblade. But yeah, and I know some people are like, oh, why isn't like Pegasus in it or such? It's about how strong a Bay is in real life too, you know? And it still gives credibility to Jinga being a legend and such, but these are like the descendants of those legends, you know what I mean? Like their descendants, they're the ones that have to like deal with all of this. Because even back then, it wasn't fully finished. Just like how MFB was kind of unresolved a little bit. Because of how, like, the Beyblade World Championship was supposed to be, like, in the 2nd season, like another world tournament. I mean, in the 4th season, how it was supposed to be another tournament. But even filling in that gap, the story with that in my gap is that, like, that was about to happen, but then Nemesis came back. Nemesis came back because it was never told, you know? Like, the whole thing that happened with the World Championships. Like, you know, we never got any new Chrome Wheels. We never got Season 5, I guess you would say, or Season 2 of Zero G or Shogun Steel with that World Tournament. More Chrome Wheels or anything. They just stopped MFB after that. And I was like, dang it. Come on. So I made a whole thing where, like, Nemesis came back. He wasn't truly destroyed. He came back, took out all those bays, but then Ryuga, like, the power of El Drago Destroy came back, and that's how it led into, like, the 2nd skit that I did. Came back, beat him, ended all of that, sealed his power away, like, crushed that power, and then that's what led to this series, you know? But, yeah, I guess that's telling how all the things, like, weave together, kind of. But, yeah, I think I got it all out.
Wait, okay, I actually looked at episode 200, part 6, right? I watched the end part, but I wanted to make sure I knew who survived. I asked the question. But can we talk about how Flash molded the Wuxi figure from Kung Fu Panda on the dark side of a dragon?
How he did what?
The Wuxi finger from Kung Fu Panda.
Oh yeah, this kid douche.
He really did it, bro. He really did it.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, the end of my skit series, the first one, anybody doesn't know, like, obviously it's the whole, like, good prevailed over evil. With that, it's not guaranteed that's going to happen this time, by the way, so don't be thinking that. Anything could happen with this skit series. It's really, really open-ended. That's why I'm like, whatever happens with this will, like, is going to lead to, like, how the burst skits go. That's one thing I've always said. I've never said that the good's going to win. I've never said the evil's going to win. It's all up in the air. It is all up in the air at this point, honestly. So, yeah. But at the end of that series, like, Bull got taken. The only Bay that did not get defeated and sent down to Hades at any point was Wolf, by the way. Phantom Wolf. A.k.a. Phantom Bull's wife. So, yeah. Yeah, well, Jade Bull got beat. Because when Jade Bull got hit, it actually got hit so hard it broke its face bull and it actually broke it to pieces. It had a brutal send down to Hades, but then it got the power of all the legends down in Hades and sent back to the surface, along with, like, his other form, and that's how we got Phantom Bull. But yeah, man. So yeah, Phantom Bull beat the Ultimate Cyborg Dark Dragon at the end, and obviously became the legend, you know. So, Yeah, but he literally like kind of he was like, "Oh, this is fun. These are fun battles." And then like the evil was getting so mad, the dragon was getting so upset. He's like, "How can you call this fun? You getting destroyed?" And he's like, "No, because you're a strong opponent. I can face you and beat you, and use all my power." And then like skadoosh, and then beat him. But yeah.
We really did. That was the funniest part about it.
Got any more?
I have to look through the playlist just to make sure I have more questions.
He's like, I got a good playlist. Well, if there's any you got to ask right now, well, the video's already a little long. So if there's any last questions that you really have on mind that you're like, I got to ask him this so I know, feel free, man.
Okay. Man, brain farts. I need to. Okay, so when I sent you how big is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But did you already have like a definite? Oh well, before I sent it, I think I told you I was going to send it.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have a definite role for them?
Okay.
For the mission?
Yeah. Okay. So what he asked me is like he sent me a Hell Pegasus because obviously how his skits are, and he's like, I'm gonna send him a Hell Pegasus. It's not as like Super Hell Pegasus or anything, and I'm like, you don't have to send that. I'm just honoring you even sending it. I'm like, if you send me something, this is how I am with literally everything. I'm like, if somebody sends me something, like you send me a bay or such, like even for the burst skit, they'll say this: none of you have to do this. None of you have to do this. But if you do this, no, I appreciate it, and it's going in the skits, and I will find a role for it. That's how it goes for everything. So he sent me like some parts a minute ago too for burst, which helped me to make some of the combos and such that I had for the past CKT. Like the one for burst, like preparing for things now. 9 and 10 are coming soon, by the way, just saying. But yeah, so he sent me a version of his Hell Pegasus. And I'm like, I'm going to find a way of using it. I'll find a role for it. I got you, man. And it's already obviously panned out because it came in. And then obviously having the Blue Inferno Kerbex be his mother. And then his father being the other Kerbex. And then, his grandpa being like the original descendant of the Hell Kerbex. Because the Beyblades from Hell pays homage to the Beyblades from Hell. They're a group of Hell Bays that I had in my first Skit series. And, these pay homage to them too. But also to the original Kerbex. And now the original Kerbex showing up. Being the father of all those bays. But yeah, but ever since he sent it to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a role for it. And then it just developed more and more over time, so I included the other Kerbexes with it, how he had his mother, and then I actually got the parts to evolve the Pegasus, because I'm like, I gotta make a Super Hell Pegasus, like kind of like that. But then that's why I got the gold, I got the orange and such. These are actually parts I got them Illinook actually sold them to me because he was like, I got some Metal Fight parts that I don't really use. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take some from you and like buy some off of you. And so I used some of those parts and made bays. And one of them happened to be Kizzle's Pegasus. You might not know that, but yeah. I used those to make your Super Saiyan. I call it Super Saiyan Hell Pegasus because, like, obviously he's a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, and I want to pay homage with that, and that's why I got the orange and the gold. I'm like, it makes perfect sense for it. So yeah, the Super Saiyan Hell Pegasus, the evolved version of it, that's an absolute boss, and by the way, is still in the series, even with all these evils lingering around. And you guys know how strong these evil bays are. They literally can like Thanos a bunch of other bays because they're that strong, and they send them flying out of the stadium. This Pegasus is still in here fighting. So it shows how strong it is, So
he single-handedly beat the
he beat Hades. He beat Hades, and then afterwards, Aquila came in and did it for royalty and beat Nemesis and sent Nemesis out, and then they came back. But yeah, dude, it's made it to the finale. Just saying, like, yo, Bay's strong. It shows that, because the Bay makes it really far in the series. It shows like its true potential. Like, no Bay left behind. I'm gonna show off the Bay's full potential with it. If they go down, they go down. If they're strong enough to fight.
I might cry if either Hell Pegasus or Medium Destructor goes down. Alright, so yeah.
Time's gonna tell with it, man. There's no like big time bias with
No,
it. It's all on like how strong the bays are, you know, how the finale will pan out. But yeah, and that's also why I'm making this video now, because he wanted to make the video before I actually get into filming the finale. I've held off on filming the finale until making this video. So hopefully after this, people don't ask questions about like, oh, what the heck's going on here with this. It's a skit series, and if you see number like 100 on it or 99, you know that's how many episodes there are with the series. So you can just go back and check out the episodes for the series, whether it's be the first one or the second one. But all I can say is, I'm gonna give like with this end, and I promise everybody right now, and this is a big declaration and a promise, I'm gonna give MFB some of the justice closure that it deserved. You know, not leaving on any crazy cliffhanger and everything. Everything will be written, everything will be settled, and hopefully after this, people will be like, yo, this ending was really good, and it actually gives some closure. It might not give all closure about MFB, but at least like hopefully people see it and be like, yo, a lot of time and hard work went into this, and you actually gave a really good resolution for it. You told an amazing story that will continue to be told for millennia. I mean, I don't know millennia, but if so, I'd be honored about that, you know. But yeah. And honestly, the series, I never expected it to become like this big, where so many people were like, holy crap, dude, like, what is the next one? What's the next one? I just did it because I really wanted to make a series and show like some of my storytelling skills, so my creativity, like, you know, as kind of an entertainer and such, and show some of the will that I have, you know. It's been over like 5 years, but I think like, well, almost 6 years, but I think I've been able to like demonstrate that pretty well, you know. And I know some people are like, oh man, you got to switch up your content and do different things. I do so many different things, it's not funny. You know, I mean, even with just this is just the skit series that I've been doing for the past almost 6 years. On top of all the battles, on top of all the Giant Stadium battles, on top of the battles in the ice stadiums, on top of all the Bakugan unboxings, and everything else that's happened, you know, all the deck profiles, all the other things, you know, there's so much different creativity that goes into this. Like, this is one person creating all of this storytelling and magic and such, on top of all the other things that are being done on this channel, on top of all the other things that I'm doing in real life. So anybody who really fully understands that and sees how much goes into everything, thank you, you know, because it's like literally you have a whole buffet of things here just in the realm of Beyblade and Bakugan and a little bit of Tech Deck, you know? But you got a whole buffet here. You choose what you want to get. There's so many different flavors. Even for like the skits, there's like a bajillion different flavors in just this one section. Maybe even more flavors in this one section than the other sections. You know? But yeah, you know, so anybody who understands that, thank you so much. Y'all are the best. And yeah. And that's why it just kills me when some people just comment like, oh, do more Beyblade videos, more Bakugan videos, or, you know, like other skits or stuff, or like even rushing for the burst skits. I get the excitement for going for the burst skits, but it's also just let the story pan out. Because afterwards, it's something I've said, like, you know, like MFB, I've gotten really nothing left to prove with it, because I've just done so many different battles and such over the years and collected all the bays on top of my own skit series, which is my own world with custom combos, all these custom battles and such, all this storytelling, literally making my own show not once but twice, and all this happening, you know. It's like it's all there. I have one thing planned left for MFB after this, and I hope people really love it. You know, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. It's like the one thing in my MFB roster of things that I have not done that I can now do. And that'll be shown after the skits. And it's going to be, it's like I said, the kind of MFB homage series. That's what I'm going to call it. And you'll see things with it soon. It'll probably be, I'm guessing early summer, maybe I'll be doing it. But yeah, you know, for now, just enjoy all things with MFB and such. And it's like I said, all you got to do is go on here and look for a certain video or such. You want to see MFB battles? Kizzle knows it. A lot of people who have been fans of the channel for a long time know it. There's so many MFB battles on here, it's crazy. Like, there's a ton of MFB battles, there's a ton of burst battles, because obviously that's the current Beyblade series, and also even Bakugan unboxings, and even the brawls that I've gone on, like going to events and stuff. You know, there's so much stuff here. All you gotta do is go and look at it. You know, and just search it up. There's 5.2K videos here. My channel's literally an encyclopedia. If you were to go and look at all these different videos, like, and you try to spend time watching all the different videos, it will take you, like, what? Well, you think years? Or at least a year?
Probably is.
to go through and watch all the videos, you know. So it's all here. All you guys gotta do is just go and look it up. Like, you know, if there's a certain video where it's like, oh man, I want to see some more videos or such, there's 5,200 videos here. You gotta put that in perspective. If you were to watch one video, actually, if you were to watch even like 5 videos every day for the rest of this year, the videos I do, it would take you a little over a year to watch all of those videos. So, you know, and all different videos. But yeah, just saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on here. All you gotta do is go and look it up, you know, and that's maybe sometimes why I'm just like, and just go crazy at points, because I'm like, it's all here. All you guys gotta do is just go and look it up. And the skit series that I've even made this video about now, it's all here. The first MFB skit series, it's in a playlist. There's 2 of them. There's the Metal Fight bit, it's just like Beyblade Skitlez. Or if you want all the events in the order of where they happen, it's called Metal Fight Beyblade Skitlez Skit Event Order. That's a playlist that I have, and that's the order of all the events that happen with the first skit series. And then there's another one that says Beyblade Zero G Skitlez. That's the current series I'm working on right now, and I'm getting ready to do the finale for it. I've held off on it because I respect my boy. I wanted him to get this Q&A in and wanted to be able to answer these questions with him before I get into this. So hopefully this hypes you guys up big time for Skit 100 finale. And I'm just saying it's going to be multiple parts because there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen with it. I don't know if it's going to be 6 parts like the first one because there were obviously a ton of bays with it. There are honestly less bays with this part here. I've actually set it up like really, really well, actually. Even better than I originally planned. So it's going to be multiple parts, though, but just enjoy it, man, because by the end of it, it's like I said, by the end of it, I'm going to have you guys surprised, like really, really shocked. That's my game plan with this, because I'm going to end this on the highest possible just bang ever that I could do for this series. And that's saying something because you guys already saw how I did with all of, like, the skits and such that I did before. If anybody, like, you know, seen all the skits and stuff, I know, like, kids were sitting here wondering, like, how the heck are you going to be able to top what you've done before, dude? You did a lot for the skits. You have, like, 300 some odd skits in both series, and you've done a lot with them. How are you going to top all that? I just got 2 words. You'll see. But, yeah. With the biggest smile on my face, and you said, oh, man, he's like, oh, crap. But, yeah, guys, so I guess with that, I'll end this off because I know it's going to be a little bit of a longer video. Like I said, probably premiering this so people could actually stop by and watch it. Not everybody's going to understand it and such, and that's okay. If you're really a big fan of the skits and such, you know, and been watching them throughout all these years, maybe you'll go back now, maybe you'll look at certain skits and you'll be like, holy crap, like even the detail with the characters and stuff, you know? Like there's a lot put in with all these characters because they all deserve the limelight, you know? It's not, a series like this isn't just about like the strongest blader or such, you know? Like how you know how the Plastic Gen is not just about Tyson, like the Metal Fight Beyblade Gen is not just about Jenga. You have all the other characters too, like, you know, that help with the roles and such. Yeah, he was the legendary blader, but still, all the other characters that led to the events that happened. Even with Burst, it's the same thing, you know, like look at how things are now going into the 5th season. You know, you got all these different characters that were a big part of how things pertained and played out. Even with my first skit series, it's not just about like Bull. It's about so many different characters that were alongside him, helped him even get to that point where he became the strongest Beyblade ever. Or even to this point where all these bays are right now, where they gained this much power, you know? It's about all the bladers, all the blades, all the bays and such that led to that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Hopefully after this, people will go back and watch and really see all the little details and such because, you know, think things through like crazy. It's just a part of being an artist. You know, you want to convey the thoughts that you have in your head and somehow, some way, put it out and make it a reality on this canvas known as the world. You know? But yeah, I know. And even like canvas known as the stadium. Like, I honestly like Jack as a character because, like, obviously being an artist myself, I'm like, yo, he's the artist blader. That's really, really cool. Except they made him kind of evil, and I was like, dang it. But then they made him good in Metal Fury, so I was like, okay, cool. And then even with like Blind during GT, honestly, I'm like, dang it, they made him evil. You got another artist blader, but he's evil. And I was like, crap. So I hope he's good. Maybe he comes back and he's good. Because, I mean, they should put another Bahamut. But that's for another video anyways. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end this off. hopefully I answered everything for you, Kizzle.
You want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I just want to thank Greg for this finale. And, I hope it survives. And that'd be perfect. That's
Hmm.
But, yeah. But, yeah, you can let it down.
Yeah, he's like thanking me for stuff if you couldn't hear it. But yeah, I know my tablet audio is not the best because my tablet's just kind of a butt. But yeah, just want to say thanks to DK for having this. I'm honestly glad that you thought of this idea, dude. I was really, really happy when you did because I'm like, I can actually fully explain everything with the skits and such. People are probably going to even go past this video and be like, he's talking for an hour about this series. But that's how much went into it. Guys, there's days, even like years worth of content with these skit series. They literally like how the show is. And it's going to be the same thing for Burst. Imagine how many homages I'm going to be paying with the Burst skits, how I'm going to be including you guys with the Burst skits, how I include myself with the Burst skits, how I include other Baytubers with the Burst skits. It's all things I have in mind when I do this, because it's not just about me like creating the story or anything. It's about including every possible person that I can include with them on top of like telling the story, so they get their limelight and they get recognition that they deserve. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's much bigger than me. It's much bigger than all of us and such, It's about storytelling and just giving a good resolution to a series that definitely deserves it, and an awesome series for sure, but also giving resolution in my own world and showing off creativity. But yeah, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice the crap out of that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you stayed along and watched the entire thing just to understand everything, thank you so much. And maybe now you'll fully be able to go back to literally any skit in both series and fully understand things with it. Obviously I grew with things as I went along with the series and such, but yeah. Hopefully you understand even that much more and maybe go to some points and be like, holy crap, dude, and get your mind blown by some of the thoughts with things. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. Ring that bell. So yeah, till next time, it's your boy Kimbo along with DK, True Anime Fan.
Let's watch skit series.
Yeah, and go show him some love too. He'll be commenting in this, so definitely go and check out like his skits too, because he's done skits as well. But yeah, or anybody that does skits,
I'm just gonna type in the comments of the premiere, repeatedly just watch my skit series.
You'd be like, watch my skit series. But yeah, till next time, we're signing off. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Until then, stay awesome and cool. Shoot. And I honestly want to tear up right now because it's the point where skit 100 finale, the end of MFB, is about to begin. Who's gonna survive?
Oh, Pegasus, of course. Of course.
But
it don't make any, yeah, exactly. It's not Pegasus. I mean, even the Shark has a good chance too, but like, it's gonna be how Pegasus. I'm sorry, I just spoiled the series. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Alright, guys.
I had to.
Till next time, see you later and all that good stuff. But yeah. Till then, stay awesome and cool. Shoot. Or let it rip. I'm up out of here. Get ready for 100. The finale's here, guys. It's going to be nuts.